So if you've never used a 360 camera before, it's very versatile, but you have to use software to actually go in and pick your shots. And I want to show you how to do that real quick using the DJI Studio. You can see I've got a bunch of projects in here that I've saved. You can actually double tap on the OSV file and it will open up in a little preview window like this and play. And what's cool about that is you can actually drag your mouse around and get different angles. So that gives you the ability to say, oh, this is the shot I want. Create project. In DJI Studio, you can hit import file, and you can either import it by browsing to it, and this is all on a Mac, or you can just drag it here. So once you've created the project, you drag it down here into the timeline. When you first start it up, it'll take you through a little tutorial, and you can click next or click in the relevant sections to move forward. Now that I have the video clip in the timeline, we can pause using the space bar, and you can come up here to your camera view. Now your camera view is whatever you saw in the RC2, whatever you thought you were looking at. The cameras don't move on a 360 drone. They are locked in place, but your view on the RC2 looks as if they're moving. So like if you were to tilt down with the RC2, the cameras aren't tilting down. It's just showing you a different view. So you select camera view or free view. Now free view allows you to move it all around and create keyframes. And keyframes are basically telling the camera what to do at any moment within the video. And there's different perspectives you can have. So you can go into the asteroid perspective, which gives you this kind of tiny planet look that you can do all these things with. You've got your ultra wide perspective, which gives you the widest view. And you've got your wide, which is not quite as wide. And then you've got your de-warping, which makes everything look a little flatter instead of actually having all the curves that you see in some of these other wider shots. So I'll go into de-warp, and once you've got free view and de-warp selected, a little button over here will show up and a little button over here will show up. This is your keyframe button, this is your tracking button. So if I wanted to just track the bicycle, I could just go over to tracking, intelligent tracking, draw a square around myself and hit start tracking, and it will just automatically track the bicycle rider, which was me, using the software. And it'll go through this whole thing. It almost kind of like runs through it once to learn how to do it, and then it lets you go back and export from there. But you can also, if you decide you don't want to just track the subject, you can create your own keyframes. So you come over here and hit the little plus, and let's say at this point you want to be looking up at the sky. So we're going to look up at the sky. We've created a keyframe, and then as the time passes, you want the camera to tilt down and reveal the guy on the bike right there. So I'm going to create a new keyframe a few seconds later, and you'll see as I play it back, it starts up facing the sky, and then within a few seconds, I might have made those too far apart. Hold on, let me make the keyframes a little closer together. So it's going to tilt down from the sky to the person riding the bike. So if you make a mistake in the keyframes, it's pretty easy. You just click on the keyframe and hit delete, and it'll get rid of it. And if you want to redo it, you just kind of come to wherever you want the camera to end up. This is the spot I want it to be at this keyframe, and you hit add keyframe. And so now we're going to show you, it's tracking the bike, which is what we did before. And then when it's done tracking, it's going to start moving toward the first keyframe, which is the sky. So it's tilting up smoothly towards the sky. The other thing with keyframes that's really nice is it makes everything look really smooth. And now I've set this keyframe down on the bike again, so it tilts down and then the bike will be revealed. So it's creating these really dynamic, tilting, panning shots that you couldn't really do that smoothly with a regular drone unless you were just super talented or super lucky. So in addition to just using the standard keyframe transitions, you can also adjust how smooth and how quickly these keyframes go from one to the next. So you click on the keyframe that you want to adjust and then the move that you want it to make. So what we're doing here is we're going from the de-warped look to the asteroid look between keyframes. And you can see it's going from one to the other, making this kind of cool asteroid view of the entire shot. It's really cool when it goes right past those trees. And I think it actually hits a tree here maybe. So that's one thing you can do. But if you want to change the speed at which it does that, you can go over and click on the first of the two keyframes, and you can say, let's go slow in, fast out. Oh yeah, and it picks up speed as it gets toward the end of the effect. So that was the slow in, fast out. If I go back and I say fast in, slow out, It's going to start off doing the transition pretty quickly, and then it's going to slow down as it gets toward the end of the transition. So see, it's going quicker on the transition, and then it'll slow down the transition as it gets closer to the end. So one thing that's important to remember, if you're not seeing this keyframe, it's because you're probably up in the wrong mode over here. If you're in camera view, you're not going to have that keyframe button. You're not going to be able to select where you want it to look because it's going to be looking where the camera was looking. You have to select free view in order to be able to get those keyframes. Once you have all your moves that you want to do, you select your export button, you pick the name of the file, you select the size that you want it to be. So we're just going to do it in 4K, your frame rate, and which I guess can be up to 60 frames a second. We'll just stay at 30. And if you want noise reduction, meaning that it might take a little bit of noise out, but it does some processing to do that. Speed priority or quality priority, that gives you a little better image, or it gets it done faster. Some of these things take a while, so sometimes speed priority might be better. And you go to where you want to save it, and you hit export, and it'll start doing its thing.